And we're back with the last spoilers. I think they're all common, unfortunately, but we'll go through them. It's the last spoilers before everything is spoiled. So, bring to trial 2 colorless, 1 white. Exile target creature with power 4 or greater. Is this standard playable? No, it is not. If it would have been 2 mana, or if it would have been without the power requirement, then sure. But it's not, so it's limited. And as I said before, I don't really care about limited. I'm not gonna be like, I don't care about limited and I don't care about commander. So I'm not gonna be like, oh guys, this is great in your commander deck to kill, I don't know, some shit like that. No. Moving on. Civic Stalwart, I guess. 3 colorless, 1 white. When Civic Stalwart enters the battlefield, creatures you control get +1/+1 until end of turn. If this would have been 3 mana, it would have been fine, I think. Maybe maybe even a consideration for a white deck. As it stands, no. It's overcosted. Way overcosted for what it does. And a deck which would want to, run these kinds of effects all have very, low to the ground mana costs. Yeah, moving on. Concordia Pegasus. Flying 1/3 for 2 mana. I'm running an only flyers deck, and even I wouldn't want this. It costs 2 mana, which is quite expensive. We already have a Hawk for a 1/2 for 1. Yeah, moving on. Expose to Daylight. 2 colorless, 1 white. Destroy target artifact or enchantment, scry 1. This is so bad, it's probably not even going to be put into sideboards. Unfortunately. Hasta Officer. 2 colorless, 1 white. When Hasta Officer enters the battlefield, target creature you control gets +1/+1 until end of turn. Yep, we already have better effects than this. Moving on. Impassioned Orator. Whenever another creature enters the battle under your control, you gain 1 life. This is the first card on this list which I don't think it's... First of all, I don't think it's good enough. For the first thing to run. Even if you have Ajani's welcome aura and Ajani and everything else, no. It's still... I think it's better than Ajani's welcome. Granted. So maybe if you were running that, you could replace it with this. So, I don't know. I don't think that would be a tier 1 deck though, but you could probably run it. You can probably pull out your Ajani's welcome, put in this. It would probably make any such list better, I think so. Moving on. Justicar's Portal. Exile target creature you control, then return that card to the battlefield under its owner's control. It gains first strike until end of turn. Okay, the problem with this card as a combat trick is that if you remove something after you've declared it as a blocker, you can't declare it as a blocker again with the first strike. So the first strike is kind of useless on this card. The positive thing about this is that this blink effect might actually be... I suspect that there will be another deck archetype. I don't know what tier it will be in, but there's the white creature which they spoiled earlier. 4 colorless, 1 white. Exile all creatures. It gets something like +2/+2. And when it leaves the battlefield, you get them all back again. Only your creatures. With that and this card, I'm thinking if you have a lot of enters the battlefield triggers, you play them out, you played your big giant out, and then you blink your giant even with this. Or you can blink your individual cards, like it works anyway. In that kind of deck, I think Justicar's Portal would be really good. I'm thinking a lot of good, comes into play triggers, like Ravnica's Chupacabra maybe, or what else? Burglar Rat, Nicol Bolas. I don't know how you're gonna sort out the colors there, but in some kind of, comes into play triggers deck kind of thing. It's kind of useless with Explore because you lose all the counters when you do this, so it's not an Explore deck, it's a comes into play triggers deck I'm thinking about. And in that deck, I think this card will be played. Other decks, no. No, it won't. Knight of Sorrows, 4 colorless, 1 white. Knight of Sorrows can block an additional creature each combat. Afterlife 1, it's a 3/3. A 3/3 for 5 is horrible. Being able to block one more creature, although that is something I don't think we've ever seen before. Maybe we've seen it? I don't remember. I don't think we've seen it. Even though it has that, and even though it has Afterlife, it's so bad on its own that it's never gonna see play. Prowling Caracal, a 3/1 for 2 mana. We already have that, and it's already shit. Moving on. Summary Judgment. 1 colorless, 1 white. Summary Judgment deals 3 damage to target tapped creature. Addendum. If you cast a spell during your main phase, it deals 5 damage to that creature instead. I don't know why they made it so crap. There's a lot of good, white removal which kills tapped creatures. This is not one of them. Why couldn't the addendum be stronger, I'm thinking? Why couldn't it be deals, I don't know, doesn't even deal damage, destroys, exiles. Like, why is the addendum so weak? Yeah, just limited. Moving on. 3 colorless, 1 white. Flying, Afterlife 1. Yep, I don't even have to explain this card's shit. 10th District Veteran. Looks exactly like Leia. I don't know, if you're looking on this at your phone, you probably can't see, but when this card comes in print, you'll see that this woman looks exactly like Leia. Vigilance. Whenever 10th District Veteran attacks, untap another target creature you control. Yep, limited card. Moving on. Twilight Panther. 1 white. A 1/2. That's fine. 1 black. Twilight Panther gains Death Touch until end of turn. Yeah, it's another limited card. I think they could have easily made this, viable by adding something like Twilight Panther gets, I don't know, plus 3, 4, 5 toughness and Death Touch or something. Would still be a shit card, but it would be better than it is now. Moving on. Watchful Giant, 5 colorless, 1 white. When Watchful Giant enters the battlefield, create a 1/1 white human creature token. Yep, there's nothing good here. Moving on. Shieldbringer, 4 colorless, 1 blue. When Shieldbringer enters the battlefield, tap target creature an opponent controls. It doesn't untap. Yeah, here's another sleep effect, and it's bad. Clear the Mind, 2 colorless, 1 blue. Target player shuffles their graveyard into their library. Draw a card. We have this in green. I'm guessing this might be a sideboard deck in blue. If you a blue deck against a milling, probably blue deck, might be played in some sideboard. Except for that, no, will never be main board in any deck. That's not true. It could be played if you're playing infinite turns, something. Some infinite turns combo, that's blue and that doesn't want green in it, so maybe that kind of deck might want this. Some kind of infinite combo might play this as a 1 or 2 off or something. Code of Constraint. Target creature gets -4, -0 until end of turn. Draw a card. Addendum. If you cast a spell during your main phase, tap target creature and it doesn't untap during its next untap step. Not as horrible as I initially thought. The sleep and draw a card is decent. It's too high cost. If it would have been 1 colorless, 1 blue, then it would be actually a good card, I would say. It'd be a good card, probably played in a lot of decks. But at 3 mana, it's overcosted. There's 3 mana is like one of the most important mana slots in your deck, because that's how you curve out. If you think about it, you usually want, a few 1-drops and 2-drops in a lot of, standard decks. There's a few 1 and 2 drops, and then there's like a lot of 3-drops, because that's the, like, where your, bell curve curves out, kind of. So yeah, I don't need to explain. No, it's overcosted. I can skip this as well. It's a vanilla creature with bad stats. Fairy Duelist. Will the Fairy deck return? Let's see. Flash Flying. When Fairy Duelist enters the battlefield, target creature and opponent controls gets -2, -0 until end of turn. It's a 1/2 for 2. It's a decent flyer, yes. Problem with this flyer is that almost every other blue flyer is better than this. It's either cheaper or has a better effect. I don't quite see it. If there's a special type of deck which for some reason doesn't want the... No, moving on. Prying Eyes, 4 colorless, 2 blue. Draw 4 cards, then discard 2 cards. It's an instant. And it's shit. Yeah, you draw 4, but then discarding 2. Like, why isn't it draw 3, discard 1, or... No. Sage's Row Savant. 1 colorless, 1 blue. When Sage's Row Savant enters the battlefield, scry 2. That's a shitty scry. Why is it just 2? Why isn't it 5 or something? I mean, you played 2 mana for a shitty creatures. Can't you get at least a decent effect out of it? No, 2 is not good enough. Senate Courier. 2 colorless, 1 blue. Flying. Senate Courier gains vigilance until end of turn. Yeah, horrible in every way. It's overcosted. Even if this were... Okay, if this were 1 mana, it would have been good. If this were 2 mana, it would have still been shit. But it's 3 mana, so it's... Yeah, you get the point. Shimmer of Possibility. Look at the top 4 cards of your library, put one of them into your hand, and the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. It's sorcery. That's bad. The only type of deck which you would ever consider playing this is a combo deck. In a combo deck, this might get played, to be fair. It's not bad. Like, if all you want is more options to search for cards, then this is fine. There are better cards if you're looking for creatures or lands, but if you're looking for artifacts or sorceries, this might be the best card for 2 mana. Skittereel, 3 colorless, 1 blue. 2 colorless, 1 blue, adapt 2. 3/3. This should have been a 5/5 from the start, I think. At least a 4/4 from the start. Yeah, it's horrible. It's horrible. As most adapt creatures actually are, I think. The adapt, they were so cautious with the adapt on every creature. It's so low. It's always adapt 1, adapt 2. Like, why? And always ludicrous costs, like 4 or 5 mana. I don't know. Moving on. 1 colorless, 1 blue. Flash. Enchant creature. Enchanted creature gets -4, -0. If it would have been and can't block. Yeah, but it can still block, so... The only deck which would consider running this is a deck which has a lot of small creatures, like a Merfolk deck or something. Which doesn't want to get beaten down, but at the same time doesn't have access to good removal because it's blue, but at the same doesn't want to, you know, play expensive removal. In that deck, this could work, but it's still better to bounce something if you're just gonna, you know, bump into it every turn anyways. Yeah, not worth it. Moving on. Swirling Torrent. 5 colorless, 1 blue. Choose 1, or both. Put target creature on top of its owner's library. That's good. Return target creature to its owner's hand. That's good. None of these are good for 6 mana. Return target creature to its owner's hand usually cost 2. It's good that you can do both, but for 6 mana it's horrible. Moving on. Thought Collapse. Counter target spell. Its controller puts the top 3 cards of their library into the graveyard. Counter for a mill deck. This will only be played in mill decks. But actually, yeah, in a mill deck this is good. It's a good card in that deck. And no other deck. Moving on. Wall of Lost Thoughts. 1 colorless, 1 blue. When Wall of Lost Thoughts enters the battlefield, target player puts the top 4 cards of their library into their graveyard. Yeah, another mill card. This is good in mill. Maybe there's a mill deck. Maybe. The problem with mill is that it has to be a niche strategy, because if it's not, it's so easy. You can just bring in like 1 green card and you put 1 card in your deck and they can't do anything. So I don't think mill will ever be top tier, but I think it will be a fringe. It will be better. Like when you are up against a mill deck, you might lose every time now because it's that good. But it's going to be so rare that you're up against one that you're probably not gonna want to put in that 1 card that it requires to beat them. Blade Brand. Target creature gains death touch until end of turn. Draw a card. Actually not horrible. This means you can kill a creature with a shitty creature or a token or something. And you still get to draw a card. There might be a deck which wants, like, you don't want a hand of this, but being able to draw a card, getting more stuff in your graveyard can be useful. There might be a use for this. I'm not discounting this. It's not horrible. Would have loved to see 1 black for this. Then I would have played this for sure. But 2 mana. Yeah, I'm not sure. Might be worth running in some kind of deck. Maybe. Moving on. Bloodmist Infiltrator. 2 colorless, 1 black. Whenever Bloodmist Infiltrator attacks, you may sacrifice another creature. If you do, Bloodmist Infiltrator can't be blocked this turn. There are easier ways of getting this type of damage through. You can just get a flyer that's a 3/3 flyer. There's a 4/4 flyer even in this set. 4/3. There's like a demon spectacle 3 and it's a 4/4 which deals 1 damage. So it's essentially a 5/5 flyer for 3. Yeah, if you want to get through damage, I'd rather have a 4/4 which deals 1 damage to my opponent every turn rather than have this. Because this is just worse. Carrion Imp. When Carrion Imp enters the battlefield, you may exile target creature from a graveyard. If you do, you gain 2 life. Yeah, there's nothing good here. Crocodile, I think we can skip. There's only funny rules text on that, so clear the stage. 4 colorless, 1 black. Target creature gets -3/-3 until end of turn. If you control a creature with power 4 or greater, you may return up to 1 target creature card from your graveyard to your hand. Very situational. So situational that no. If it would have been into play, on the other hand, which they might as well had play, they could have printed it like that and it wouldn't be broken, then at least it would be good. Now it's horrible. 5 colorless, 1 black. Destroy target creature. Consign to the pit deals 2 damage to that creature's controller. Yeah, limited. Moving on. Dead Revels. 3 colorless, 1 black. Spectacle. 1 colorless, 1 black. Return up to 2 target creature cards from your graveyard to your hand. There's already better cards which does this without the spectacle. Debtor's Transport. 5 colorless, 1 black. Afterlife 2. Horrible. Moving on. 2 colorless, 1 black. Exile target creature with power 3 or less. This actually exiles something. So it costs less than Raska. This might be a sideboard tech. Actually. Wouldn't discount this. It's an instant, which is good. It's easily splashable. It's more aggressively costed than some other cards. Yeah. I mean, it's even a fine... If you got a lot of common wild cards in MTG Arena, I think you could safely craft one or two of this in your deck and have them alongside your cast downs or whatever. I mean, it's a common, so you're probably not going to use it in your, final version of your deck, but to begin with, yeah, fine card, I say. Moving on, Ill-Gotten Inheritance. At the beginning of your upkeep, Ill-Gotten Inheritance deals 1 damage to each opponent and you gain 1 life. Yeah, that's not too good. 5 colorless, 1 black. Sacrifice Ill-Gotten Inheritance. It deals 4 damage to target opponent and you gain 4 life. Still horrible. Noxious Grudion. 2 colorless, 1 black. Death Touch, 2/2. Horrible. Plague White. 1 colorless, 1 black. Whenever Plague White becomes blocked, each creature blocking it gets -1/-1 until end of turn. Horrible. Rakdos Trumpeter. 1 colorless, 1 black. Menace. Menace? Only deals 1 damage. Okay, 3 colorless, 1 red. Rakdos Trumpeter gets +2/+0 until end of turn. Yep, will never be played. Moving on. Spire Mangler. Flash Flying. When Spire Mangler enters the battlefield, target creature with flying you control gets +2/+0 until end of turn. For 2 mana, that effect would have been decent. For 3 mana, it's horrible. Thirsting Shade. 1 black. Lifelink. Lifelink is nice. 2 colorless, 1 black. Thirsting Shade gets +1/+1 until end of turn. If this would have been a 2/1 lifelink or a 1/3 lifelink, then this would have actually been good. Actually a good card. If you have an infinite mana combo, you could win with this. And in the early game you could gain some life and block. But as it stands, no, it can't do anything. If it would have been lifelink Death Touch, yep, then it would have been decent as well. But it is none of those things, so no, it won't work. Undercity Scavenger. When Undercity Scavenger enters the battlefield, you may sacrifice another creature. If you do, put 2 +1/+1 counters on Undercity Scavenger, then scry 2. No. You don't need that condition to do something. That's you can already get that effect. You can already get a big creature if that's what you're looking for. Target opponent's Undercity's Embrace. 2 colorless, 1 black. Target opponent sacrifice a creature. If you control a creature with power 4 or greater, you gain 4 life. A good card, I must say. This will probably... The thing is, you will never have a creature with power 4 or greater though. But it's an instant sacrifice. Do we have other instant sacrifice? I don't think we have other instant sacrifice. Yeah, this might get played. Decent removal. And it's common. Vindicative Vampire. 3 colorless, 1 black. Whenever another creature you control dies, Vindicative Vampire deals 1 damage to each opponent and you gain 1 life. Horrible. Act of Treason. Yeah, we've already seen Act of Treason. Cavalcade of Calamity. 1 colorless, 1 red. Whenever a creature you control with power 1 or less attacks, Cavalcade of Calamity deals 1 damage to the player or planeswalker that creature is attacking. Yeah, this works as the last card you play when your opponent puts out jump blockers, kind of. It's only semi-horrible. It's a bit bad, but might actually get played. Forcing that last bit of damage. If you have a lot of small creatures. I don't know, in something like a heroic reinforcements deck or something. You played your heroic reinforcements, your opponent puts down a lot of, like a wall of dudes. And then you play this Cavalcade of Calamity to finish them off. It's not good, and I don't think it will be played, but it could see play. And I think that's, for the remaining cards, that's about what we're looking for. When Daggercaster enters the battlefield, it's Daggercaster by the way, 3 colors, 1 red, 2, 3. It is 1 damage to each opponent and 1 damage to each creature your opponent controls. So it's a shitty version of, what's he called? Chain Whirler. A shitty Chain Whirler. Now if you want 2 Chain Whirlers, 1 shitty and 1 good, you can include this. No, it's horrible. Deface. Choose 1. Destroy target artifact, destroy target creature with Defender. Okay, not flying. With Defender. Sideboard tech versus the incoming Defender deck, maybe? Furl Maka. 1 colorless, 1 red. 2/2. Yeah, I don't even need to comment on that, I don't think. Flames of the Race Boar. The Race Boar, okay. 5 colorless, 1 red. Flames of the Race Boar deals 4 damage to target creature an opponent controls. Then Flames of the Race Boar deals 2 damage to each other creature that player controls if you control a creature with power 4 or greater. There's a lot of these with power 4 or greater. So it's 6 damage to 1 and 2 to everything else. Decent board clear. It's an instant. Could get played actually. Maybe a one-of in some kind of deck. Moving on. Gore Clan Wrecker. 3 colors, 1 red. Riot Menace. Yeah, this will never ever be played. Goblin Gathering, 2 colors, 1 red. Create a number of 1/1 red goblin creature tokens equal to 2 plus the number of cards named Goblin Gathering in your graveyard. It's fun. We've seen these kind of effects before, and they're always a little bit stronger than you think. I think historically they've always been underestimated and often played. Actually, it will happen, you know, very often that you draw three of this. Not super often, but it will happen. And then you will have, you know, back to back. So if you want back to back small dork goblins, you know, token creators, you might actually want this. I think it's very high costed at 2 and 1 red. I think it should have been 1 colorless, 1 red, but then it would probably have been a rare card. I think when I look at it, it looks bad, but I know that effect is stronger than I think, so yeah. Might. Fringe card. Some weird deck, maybe. That's where it's at. Gravelhide Goblin. 1 colorless, 1 red. Gravelhide Goblin gets... yeah, this is horrible. Moving on. Rubble Reading. 3 colorless, 1 red. Destroy target land. Scry 2. Another land destruction. Yeah, might see play. In the land destruction deck, of course. 4 colors, 1 red. Rubble Belt Recluse attacks each combat if able. No. Rumbling Ruin. 5 colors, 1 red. When Rumbling Ruin enters the battlefield, count the number of +1/+1 counter on creatures you control. Creatures your opponents control with power less than or equal to the net number can't block this turn. Why doesn't it have haste though? It can't attack. It comes down and it helps your team. No. Spear Spewer Defender. Spear Spewer deals 1 damage to each player. Actually a decent card. Unexpectedly. Not super good. But I mean, for common slot, if you want to go like, I don't know, either you're building a pauper deck or you're going like standard. I mean, at 1 mana. If you think about it, I've seen like Torch Couriers in decks which don't even need that card. And this would probably deal. If you put this down on for 1 mana, the opponent will either have to answer it, and it's a 0/2, so it will survive something, or it will deal a couple damage. Doesn't matter in a red deck that it deals damage to yourself. Not that much, at least. Might get played, but probably not. There is a lot of better cards in red when I think about it. For 1 mana, it's competing with Shock and the 2/2 haster. So no, never. Spike Wheel Acrobat. 3 or Spectacle Enabler. No, moving on. Spike Wheel Acrobat. 3 colorless, 1 red. Spectacle, 2 colorless, 1 red. 5/2. Moving on. Storm Strike. 1 red. Target creature gets +1, +0, and gains first strike until end of turn. Scry 1. No. Teen Street Dodger. Haste. Teen Street Dodger can't be blocked this turn except by creatures with Defender. It's a 1/1 haste. It's a goblin. If there's a goblin deck, this might get played. In a goblin deck, this might be good enough. Axebane Beast. 3 colorless, 1 green. Moving on. Enraged Ceratok. 3 colorless, 2 green. Enraged Ceratok can't be blocked by creatures with power 2 or less. It's a 4/4. If it would have been a 5/5, yeah, this is just close to being a card, but it's not. It's a limited card. Gatebreaker Ram. 2 colorless, 1 green. Gatebreaker Ram gets +1/+1 for each gate you control. A gate card. As long as you control 2 or more gates, Gatebreaker Ram has Vigilance and Trample. Oh, I'm happy to get Trample at least. Wasn't expecting that. And it survives the board clear. The gate board clear. So say, if you're playing this at 3, you have 4 gates. So this is a 6/6/4/3 with Vigilance and Trample. Problem is that all gates deck are probably not looking for creatures. We already got good creatures to play. Not interested in a vanilla creature which doesn't do anything really. We're a control deck as well. But it survives the board clear, the gate board clear, and there might be versions of the gate deck. Not discounting this one. Might be even decent. Yeah. In a variant of the gate deck, this might work. Moving on. Gift of Strength. 1 colorless, 1 green. Target creature gets +3/+3 and gains reach until end of turn. Why couldn't it gain Trample? Why? There's all these +4/+4 and stuff in green, but they never give them Trample, so they never can do anything. You can't get in for damage with it. Mammoth Spider. Reach 3/5. No. Open the gates. 1 green. Search the library for a basic land card or a gate card, reveal it and put it into your hand and shuffle your library. Yes, this will be played in the gates deck and probably some other decks which need to search for land cards. Good card. Moving on. Rampaging Rendhorn. 4 colorless, 1 green. Riot. No, will never play. Root Snare. Prevent all combat damage that would be dealt this turn. Another. Yet another. What's it called? Turbo Fog card. And even better than the last one we had. Yeah, Turbo Fog will include this, and it will be a 4 of in that deck. Sagittarius Volley. 2 colorless, 1 green. Destroy target creature with flying. Sagatha's Volley deals 1 damage each creature with flying your opponent controls. Sideboard tech? Maybe? Saruli Caretaker. 1 green. Defender. Tap an untapped creature you control. Add 1 mana of any color. This might get played. The problem with this is that it doesn't give you mana the first turn. It comes into play, but it gives any color. So next turn it can tap in for a mana. Depending on what you're going for in that deck, there might be a deck which wants this effect. Usually you're just gonna go Lano Elf. It's not like in any deck. It's like a very particular deck that might want this. I just not see which one would do it. I don't see why you would want this. Or I see why. I see if you want any mana color and you want it fast and you want it in green, then you can get it here. And it's yeah. Like, let's say you play something like this, and then your second turn you play something which makes things cheaper, and then next turn you can tap that things which make things cheaper, which is already paying a bit of it, because like a dinosaur deck or something. This taps that things which makes dinosaurs cheaper, and then let's say you have -1 to dinosaur cost or something. Tap this, and then you might get your dinosaur out on the third turn. You're like 5 mana dinosaur or something. But for the most part, I think it looks bad. Steeple Creeper. 2 colorless, 1 green. You can pay 3 colorless and 1 blue. Steeple Creeper against flying. No. Stony Strength. 1 green. Put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control. Untap that creature. Here's the combo. There's a, whenever this creature has +1/+1 counters on it, you can add 3 mana. Yeah, it's a combo card. And that combo will surely find something. I mean, you can easily gain silly amounts of mana with that. You can play out anything in the game. Turn 3, maybe. So that will be played. I don't know what it will play out for all that mana. But yeah, this will see play. Sylvan Brush Strider. 2 colorless, 1 green. Just to clarify, this will see play in only in decks which include the new rare card, which if it has a +1 counter on it, produces 3 mana. Moving on. Sylvan Brush Strider. 2 colorless, 1 green. When Sylvan Brush Strider enters the battlefield, you gain 2 life. No. Territorial Boar. 1 colorless, 1 green. Whenever a creature with power 4 or greater enters the battlefield under your control, Territorial Boar gets +1/+1 and vigilance. Moving on, it's a shit card. Tower Defense. 1 colorless, 1 green. Instant. Creatures you control get +0/+5 and gain reach. If it had would been Trample, then I would actually have said, you know, that the Arcanist Defender deck is a real thing. Now it's very fun gimmick, but it's not gonna put it into a top tier deck, I don't think. But it's obvious that this is meant to be used with the Defender. Turn your defending creatures into non-defenders and attack, and this is an insane buff for that strategy. But since they don't have Trample, and you know, there's no defender creatures that I know of, at least, that has Trample, because it would never be relevant on it. So that deck will probably never be top tier, unfortunately. Wrecking Beast. 5 colorless, 2 green. Riot Trample. This crate. Yeah, it's bad. Applied Biomancy. 1 green, 1 blue. Choose one or both. Target creature gets +1/+1 until end of turn. Return target creature to its owner's hand. So we get a little bit of damage in your Merfolk deck. And return a creature to its owner's hand. If it would have been return target permanent to its owner's hand, then it would have been good. As it stands, I think it's bad enough even in the only deck that would possibly want this, the Merfolk deck. Next card. Azorius Knight Arbiter. 3 colorless, 1 white, 1 blue. Vigilance. Azorius Knight Arbiter can't be blocked. Can't be blocked is nice. 5 mana is horrible. Next card. Final Payment. 1 white, 1 black. As an additional cost to cast this spell, pay 5 life or sacrifice a creature or enchantment. Okay, destroy target creature. Black has no problem at all killing creatures. It's the easiest thing in the world for them. Having a condition to that, the only reason I see this being paid is if you actually want to sacrifice your creatures because they are shit creatures but they become good with their afterlife. Then you might play this. But I doubt it. Get the point. 3 colorless, 1 black, 1 red. Destroy target creature. Scry 1. Horrible. Law Mage's Binding. 1 colorless, 1 white, 1 blue. Flash. Enchant creature. Of course, it's an aura. Enchant creature can't attack or block, and its activated abilities can't be activated. That's flash. That's good. That's really good. Can't attack or block. Yeah, that's what you need. Activated abilities can't be activated. Check, that's really something you need if you're going to imprison something. So it's only triggered. Only triggered. This can take care of a lot of creatures. It can take care of some. There's like Tendershoot Dryad or whatever it's called. There's a few triggered abilities actually which you want to take care of. But on the other hand, you got Board Sweepers in white for that, so... and it has Flash. Might see play. Might mix this in your Azorius control deck with your Teferis. Maybe a one of. Next card. Rubble Belt Runner. 1 colorless, 1 red, 1 green. Rubble Belt Runner can't be blocked by creature tokens. No. Footlight Fiend. It's a black or a red. When Footlight Fiend dies, it deals 1 damage to any target. If you play this out... No, unless there's something that's combos with devils or something, no. Next card, Rubble Slinger. 2 colorless, 1 red or green, reach, 2/3. No, it's horrible. Scuttlegator. 4 colorless, green or blue, and then green or blue. Defender. 6 colorless, green or blue, adapt 3. As long as Scuttlegate has 3+1/+1 counters on it, it can attack as though it didn't have Defender. Even the Defender deck doesn't want this. Next card. When Senate Griffin enters the battlefield, scry 1. It's a 3/2 for 4 mana. No. 2 colorless, black or white mana. Lifelink 3/1. No. Junk Trawler. 4 colorless, Defender. Put target card from a graveyard on the bottom of its owner's library. No, not even the Defender deck will want this card. It's too high cost for that kind of deck. Screaming Shield. 1 colorless. Equipped creature gets +2/+3 and has 2 colorless. Target player puts the top 3 cards of the library into their graveyard. Equip 3. Does the Defender deck want this? maybe. That's the only deck that could want this. I don't see a deck really, a mill deck equipping this for 4 mana. No. No. No, 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 no. And then we're back at the Planeswalkers. The way I get it, these Planeswalkers won't be in the set. These are just exclusive cards which you can use in your, I don't know, modern or probably commander. I don't know. Yeah, that's all for now. Definitely when the next set comes out, I'll be sure to cover all the cards there as well. So yeah, thank you for watching.